now all of that is
gone with the wind.
It's all falling apart or gone with the wind. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It is.
The old way of conducting.
I think it's the old way. I think it's what became the new way has fallen apart.
You mean
that big middle class, that believed in the West in strong democracy and democratic institutions.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to build a new world, and there was going to be all these changes, and society was going to be changed. And in the East, they had this fantastic vision for what communism meant.
Yes.
And the Tsar is gone. All the aristocrats have been, either absorbed into communism or they've been shot.
Right.
But anyway, it's gone. So, and they had this enormous. I mean, the Soviet Union was by far the most successful economy through the 1950s and 60s. It was beating the United States and the West. I mean, very soundly.
Well, until JFK came along, right? He kind of upended. Oh, well, not he with the moonshots.
Well,
with the
yeah. Okay. So yes, I think he balanced things out.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't because the Soviet bloc.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you have to say China and Russia, Soviet bloc.
Right.
But communist bloc.
Right.
It wasn't because they were beginning to fail. The seeds perhaps were there of failure, certainly in the Soviet Union. But it was the United States had suddenly sort of got its arse into gear and was starting to really to pedal forward. But the communist system was. But the point I'm saying is that it was the new world.
Yes.
From 48 or 49 onwards, or 45 onwards, it was the new world.
The new world consists of two experiments, right?
Yeah.
One is Marxism or communism, and another one is capitalism.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The diversion of two worlds, two different models. Let's see which one wins. Right. That's the
basically yes.
Right.
That stability of almost, you can almost say, honest competition.
Yeah. I
mean, there were subsequent revolutions on both sides.
Right.
Because there was still this paternalism in the West, and that that persevered until the Reagan-Thatcher era, Reagan era, when they released free market economics. So that was kind of the secondary revolution in the West.
Yeah, in capitalism.
Free market, in capitalism.
Yeah.
Well, free market economics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was that was supposed to be the great democratic, the last sort of taboo,
right?
In democracy was to allow people to become individuals,
right?
Rather than collect in communities. Which I don't know if that's been successful or not. It's too early to tell, perhaps.
So, how do you see us in the history in that context? Right, we're at the end of the two big experiments, and obviously,
yes,
right, and the Russian-rooted communism, you can't, as if it failed. We can't come to the conclusion that it failed. We do need to adopt capitalism, and but then look at the West, look at America in particular.
Well, look at what was it Deng
Xiaoping, yeah.
It doesn't matter what
black hat, white cat,
black or white cat, as long as it catches the mouse.
Right.
That was Deng Xiaoping who
Yeah.
said that. I think. Well, we've talked about this, haven't we? I mean, certainly communism, as practiced, had failed in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's communism in China. I think it's nominally, communistic. But of course they've adopted and adapted capitalism, much to the dismay of the West, because of course we, in the West we all thought that capitalism meant democracy. We didn't realise that the communism and capitalism actually could be incredibly successful, or at least it appears to be, which is a surprise. But the pressures of the world are so different now because of the number of people that are in the world, and the spread of technology now. United States isn't 50% of the economy any longer, which is and will never be again. Well, that's the Make America Great Again image, this retrospective image, is it means that the rest of the world has to collapse for the United States to get back to what it believes is its birthright, which is total dominance.
The slogan itself, it tells so much about how deep in shit America is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as a Brit, every Brit knows, more or less, maybe the face of Britain has changed, but people of my generation and my ethnic background, right, people who really absolutely identify with the earth in England, right? We're English or Scottish or we're British. We know the stinging humiliation of collapse of empire, and so it's very hard to escape that nostalgia and that sense of looking back as to when we were great. When 2/3 of the planet, when you looked at the map, 2/3 of it was printed in pink.
Yeah.
And that was British Empire. Very hard. And of course now we have to play third fiddle, to the United States, which is humiliating and